went yesterday with your professor?
Oh, it was amazing. He's very happy.
I uh, so the are Farid came in with his professor to a bunch of educators here, and people who are involved in the educating weird internet-y problems, and so Rachel will be back. Joe Laurentia, who's Laddybug, sorry, has created a, he's brought the enzyme in, so you can actually see what the virus looks like, and he has small models and big models. You can pick it up, kind of move it around, and it's just fascinating to see the shape of the DNA and RNA of this, or this enzyme, or whatever it is. Really fascinating.
Is this your job?
No. Well, yes, actually it is my job. But I am the co-founder of Educators in VR, and part of my job is to provide training and educational programs. So yes, it is my job. I'm a teacher too. Hey, so hello everybody, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. We're gonna have a great time. And so for those who didn't read the introductions when you came in, and pardon for my voice, I have a little bit of a sinus infection. It's now to the drip down stage, which has affected my voice. Plus I've been talking way too much these past few days.
Is that from your show called?
Yeah, bless you.
There's like 20 people in here Tuesday.
Just help add. Yeah, so anyway,
So I have an Educators in VR conference.
Yay, yes, we just had the Educators in VR conference. Who was at the Educators in VR International Summit? Give me some hearts. Some people love it. All right, so this is, we've been doing trainings. I've been doing trainings here in Altspace for a very long time, and under the umbrella of many more events, not quite like the International Summit, but like the Karen, the other Karen, I got Karens, I love it. But we're going to be doing some smaller events. We've got a 24-hour event that is coming up of teaching English for second 24 hours. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I believe it's the 27th. We also have we have a Students in VR conference coming up, which is we're going to be mentoring in the classes from around the world who are going to be presenting for 2 days. And we have somebody in 2 days. If you could please stay muted or move to a quieter place, that'd be awesome. I'll be muting everybody here in just a second. But, yeah. All right, so we'll start right away. Okay. I muted you not to be mean. It's just part of the tools that we have here that I'm going to do. So we have the Students in VR conference that's coming up, and it's going to be 2 days. 1 day is in Engage, 1 day is going to be in Altspace. It's happening in May. And we're going to need a lot of volunteers to help train and prepare, but it's student-produced and student-led. They're going to be doing the presentations. We have young people, but it's basically from 13 to university age. And I am so excited about doing that. And if you want to be on board, this is the kind of training that we're doing for events like that and the other ones we have coming up. So Altspace Educators in VR is volunteer driven. And we have, so we will be, hang on a second. I'm going to use one of the tools that I have to make somebody here who is set as a moderator and is not showing up, a moderator. Fantastic. Karen, you're all set. Karen 666 should be all set. And make sure both of my Karens are all set. There's one, and let's check the other. This is, yeah, beautiful. You should all be set. Okay. I got to use the tools I'm going to talk about. All right, so we are doing, because many of our events are volunteer-driven, volunteer-run, we're doing these trainings. We'd love to have you join us for our Educators in VR events. More importantly, we want you to do these. Right now is the prime time, as we have more people than ever are coming here into VR, exploring it for the first time, looking at its viability for hosting meetings, business meetings, conferences, all kinds of different things. But most important for you, with already pioneers in this VR industry, to come in and to present your own workshops, your own meetups, your own classes, whatever it happens to be. It doesn't have to be with Educators in VR. It can be totally on your own. Because we all have a skill, we all have a talent, we all have a passion. I really believe that we need to leave our legacy. You know, in the end, we're going to be a dust mote in time. The only things we have are our ability to leave that legacy and knowledge, pass that on. That is the greatest gift we can give to the world. So that's my little soapbox. I love that. That is so important to me. So we're going to be talking about some very specific things about hosting and being the host of the and then being a moderator. They cross over because sometimes you are both. And letting you know how this works. Ready to get going? Give me some hearts. Give me some hearts. Yeah. Love them hearts. Love them hearts. Oh, beautiful. All right. So my name is Lorelle. A lot of the training programs for educators in VR. So when you're looking at an event, people enter into an event, including the hosts and moderators, with a whole lot of agenda going on inside their head. Right now, I'm trying to convince you that my post-nasal drip and sore throat is not COVID-19. So sorry, I can't do the great voice things I usually do. No, it's just that time of year, and I got hit. But think about all the things that were in your mind when you entered this room. And sometimes the thought is, what am I doing here? Why did I click this? Well, I don't know even what this is about. Okay, learn to read. Read before you click. I mean, this is basic stuff. Read before you click. So don't waste the host's time asking, why am I here? Or what is this event about? Read. And as an event host, please fill out the proper information so we know what this event is about before we enter it. Okay? That's just my... You'll get a few of my soapboxes here. So we come into an event with a lot of stuff in our heads, and the audience in particular, and then they may be here just because they're bored, the real world is boring, and you have Altspace, so lots of good stuff going on. The host is to grab their attention and, okay, that's not what this session is about. That's what so what it is about helping people understand how now I'm also going to use you all as guinea pigs and test subjects. Oh, I'm looking. So anyone who is going to be disruptive in any way, shape, or form, please know that I will bring the attention so well deserved. Be a disruption, just let you know. You will become the center of attention as we discuss moderation and how to control the disruptive people. So for all of you who are on Quest, please use that left thumb controller and put thy butt down in the virtual seat and not float. That's considered one of the distractions. And just let me know. It is just because you can doesn't mean you should. So make sure that anybody can put feet on the floor, put butt down and chair. That'd be awesome. All right. So again, what we're going to cover here are the basic hosting and moderation tools and techniques. To teach you everything, all the rest of the stuff would take days. Okay, we're not going to cover how to create an event. We're not going to cover slides. We're not going to cover video. We're not going to cover filming. We're going to talk about event host tools and the basic techniques in moderation. All right, just letting you know. Lots of other things besides this. Now, when you step up onto the stage, it's very important as the event host. So we're going to start with event hosting. That you click on host tools that you would see if you were given the role of host. And you have to make sure, first of all, you turn on those emojis because that's how we communicate. Because audience is muted most of the time, you make sure those are on and then you invite people to communicate with you different things. And just to let you know, this is the dumbest little emoji we have. Everybody click on it, get it out of your system. This is not the raise hand button, just letting you know. This is not how we ask questions. I'll show you in a second how that works. This is kind of designed for people like me who are right now in 2D. We wave. This is how we wave. We high five. This is it, okay? It goes away. This is not how we ask questions. I'll show you how that works in just a second. But you need to make sure that when you step up on this stage, your emojis are up there and they're ready to be used. Be aware that when you're using them, you will often be hammering on them and then do this. If I could do it there. Okay. That happens all the time. And those emojis we can miss by just a trickle across the room. Same thing, people in the audience who are hammering on those emojis can miss, but if that happens, we kind of go, okay, give you a second, don't freak out, just turn around and teleport off. Don't freak out, don't say anything, don't do anything, just go, oops, and then move on. You know that's something that does happen. So we get excited and we're hammering away, things happen. But make sure those emojis are up. Then you turn on them up. You turn on megaphone, which is the amplify my voice so that everyone can hear you. So I'm going to give you an example, even with the losing my voice thing. So this is me on. So now I'm going to turn it off and remember my voice. I'm not changing the tone or the volume. Now it's harder to hear me, right? Okay, so now I turn it on and you can hear me. So what it does is it equalizes the sound all the way, the audio across the room. So I'm like whispering in your ear. So when you do whisper, it's kind of weird because it sounds like you're writing. Okay, so just letting you know, there's some fun things you could do with it. Then we have the ability to have audience participation. I'll be talking about that in a second. And if you're on the front row, which I'm not going to be covering because it's very specialized, run air on. Okay, so that's what the tools look like right up there. Can everybody see the screen behind me? Can you see the slides? Give me some hearts. Okay, I love it. If you cannot, please re-enter the space. That will usually clear it up. So go to your settings and re-enter. That will usually clear that up. Okay, God, I love that you all are here. How many of you want to create some hearts? How many people want to create an event here? How many of you don't want to create an event but want to help moderate events? You want to be one of the helpful people to help moderate events. We need more helpful people. All right, moderation is so critical. Isn't it, Diamond? It is so absolutely critical that we have people who can moderate. And Diamond is one of my moderators. I have a few other tucked around the room. And it's one of the greatest gifts. So tell me, well, no, I'm going to come back to you, Diamond. Hang on there. I'm to you. I want to get on with the host stuff and we're going to talk about moderation because we have a lot to cover. So this is what it looks like when you open up those tools and you see. So your names are all on my list. You're on a list. Oh dear. I can't. No. Sorry, mute it when I'm coughing. But just a little of that. Oh, no, I'm good too. Hang on. Oh, this losing your voice business sucks. All right. So you're on the list, and we can see things about you. So we can see a little meter that goes up and down and shows your voice as you're talking. So I can see who's speaking. It's fabulous. And we have some other fun things we can do. We also have the ability to open up what is called the Q&A, and I'm going to do that right now so you see what that looks like. It's called participation. So now you will see a button that shows up, down, in, and out. I want everyone to click it. Everybody click it. And anybody, I just want you to get it out of your system. So once you once, then that shows that you are then saying you want to ask an intelligent question. Don't ask stupid questions, because right next to it is the ability to nuke you and remove you, so be aware. But we do have the ability to amplify your voice so that everyone can hear. And this is important because in an event, even in this, more time wasting than somebody asking a question and taking too long to ask the question, and then proceeding, the speaker has to repeat the question. Well, to amplify voice means that you just say your question once, but keep it succinct, because we only have a short time, especially in VR, because batteries go dead and devices overheat. Keep your questions on topic, and just to be helpful to everybody. Okay? All right, so you can never go on the queue, you hit it a second time, and you can come off, and then we can amplify your voice. So I'm going to leave it up for a bit. If you want to click it, fine, but I'm going to clear the queue to make sure that only those who really ask questions can do so. Amplify your voice. Again, if you can't see the slides, please. All right, 4 seconds. We now have down to about 1 or 2 seconds before it goes out through the inner tubes and comes back and activates your voice. The speaker the questioner has to accept that their voice is they're going to be unmuted and have their voice amplified. It's a permission thing, and then you do, and the question is done. Now, we also, under guests, we have a host or a moderator instantly. That used to be very complex. So right now, I could, if there's somebody I did this earlier when we first began, when somebody came in who I thought was already set as a moderator, instantly able to make them a moderator. So you can also instantly kick. You can instantly do a few other things, and that's really important to have that really fast response through this host panel. So I can go through those and I can click those options and make them happen right away. I love this feature, and we asked for it, and Altspace came through. This host panel, as you see it, is community driven. Our feedback made this happen. Time for the devs to figure it out, but we asked happen. So I love that they did that. So they too, just like being asked to speak, for the participation, will get a note, and they have to confirm that they're willing to accept this upgrade, so to speak. So I love that feature. All right, so the host tools are that you get to see the guest list. You get to see who's the host and who's the mods. There's also whose mics are open. When you're having problems identifying everybody's unmuted, and you're trying to identify who's speaking, usually you can hear spatially. So if I hear somebody on one side of the room, I can hear them, even with their voice amplified. I can hear them over here. And if I move around, you can hear me speak over here. And so you can follow even when I'm on megaphone. And so, that's part of the magic, is that you can have this audio spatial awareness. It's fantastic. I mean, Altspace is pretty freaking awesome, isn't it? I just love that we have these capabilities, these features that they thought about that I wouldn't have thought about. I love that. So patient the Q&A, you can promote the guest to a presenter or a mod. Love that. How we used to add those roles is through the web page for the event at altvr.com. And you still can. You can still do that. In fact, you should. So you need to add presenter and mods, and you use their username. This is very important. I'm going to talk about this in a second. Usernames are the lifeblood here doing events. And so you add their name and you add their role. So the problem is you can be a presenter and not have moderation roles. You can be a moderator and not have presenter roles. So add a mod, you add both. You have to add both. And just because you create an event doesn't mean you're automatically added. You have to add yourself as presenter and as moderator. Because many, the idea behind that is that many people create events for other people to be the rock stars, to be the presenter. So if you're working with a team, in Educators in VR, we have some people that are working to actually help create the events so that the rest of us are doing something else. And then I just step in and I teach or whatever. And like that, because I think that now that we have more people that are creating their own events, I think they should be automatically added as both presenter and mod. Wouldn't hurt, but that's where we are right now. So you have to add yourself as a presenter and as a mod by user. Add the people you come into the event space before the event begins. Otherwise, they have to wait until 3 minutes before starting time. Then they come in, then you have to find them in the host tools, and then you have to add them. So just know that's a little extra work to present. You're trying to add somebody as a multitasking you don't want to do. So try to get them up there before in the events list. Oh, God. Display names and usernames. Okay, please, people. One of our new worst usernames is Hitler's left nut. I really don't want to yell out, hey, Hitler's left nut across the room. Or I'm crazy. We had somebody in here for a while who had I'm crazy. And so you'd go, hey, I'm crazy. And I'm trying to get someone's attention. This is a bad thing to do because obviously no one's going to be looking at I'm crazy. They're looking at me. Please be sensitive to your display name because I want to be able to turn over it and say, hey, Diamond, how are you doing? Hey, Karen, how are you doing? I want to be able to talk to you like you're a human being. You don't have to use your real name, but don't that is objectionable or hard to say or hard to remember. Just be helpful. Be part of the helpful people. All right? And, I've got Karen and Karen 666. I am now so used to saying, we abbreviate to Karen 6. I don't even think about it as a number. I just say Karen 6. And everybody knows what I'm talking about. So there's ways to incorporate the number, but just be sensitive to usernames. To display names. But usernames, really important because that's the big money ticket. Username, we can add you as a host, we can add you as a presenter, a mod, we can add you to our Discord channel. We do all kinds. Need that username. Make sure it's an easy one to say. Mine is the same as my display name. Love that! Karen and Karen 66 both have the same username as their same name. Oh God, I love you. So Diamond is Diamond01. Okay, I can remember that. But if it's F9 64 82 29, you're going to be absolutely annoying to me every time I have to add you because I'm not going to be able to remember it and I'm going to have to keep it somewhere and copy and paste. I'm going to have to ask you all the time, what's that username? What's that username? So you could change your display name by going to the altvr.com website, logging in, display name in your profile. Your username, and if you really feel that you've made a mistake, which, that's up to you. If it really feels like it's the staff and you can request to have it changed and give them a recommendation of what you would like it to be, then you have to change your logins. But just be aware, Easy to use makes this really easy. I cannot tell you. Usernames is when you're doing massive events like we did with the Educators in VR International Summit, usernames are a nightmare. All right. Now, let's talk about moderation, and then I'm going to get your questions. Is inevitable. But look at, you've been here for 20 minutes. I haven't had to kick anybody's ass. Diamond, have you?
It's awesome.
I love it.
I do too.
Karen 666 or Karen, have you? No. All right. Thank you for not making my mods work so hard. Most events are like this, okay? Things in your life, when you have something behind people about it, when something good happens, you tell one. That's what, when we're talking about moderation, we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about the very few, but we have to talk about it because of understanding how to host and moderate events. So hosts need, trust me, event hosts need people who are familiar with the event, who are slow to anger. I have someone who refuses to go to any training because he thinks he knows everything. And yet I trust him enough to be my backup mod, all right? But I don't like to leave him alone for very long because he responds out of the slightest little thing. Please be patient. Be really slow to anger. Those are the best mods. And listen, because there's multiple levels. Right now you're all muted, so the only thing you should hear is myself or like Diamond or somebody who I've asked to be unmuted for whatever reason. But when you're in an event where you don't have everybody muted, you want to be able to really listen and be able to turn the moment you hear a sound that something isn't right, so that you can then grab a name tag and do something about it. So you have to really pay attention, and that attention to details is so important, as well as the inattention to details that we'll talk about in a minute. Really be watching, and you know, if you've got any detective in you, any spy in this, moderation brings that out. It's really wonderful. You also need to be very flexible with your devices, because if you commit to host an event or you commit to help moderate an event, and you come in on your Quest or Go or whatever it is, and it goes dead, you want to be here something so that you can continue to help if you can. So try to be flexible with your devices. Trust me, it's a lot easier to do this in 2D than it is for events and in the HMD. Probably most important things are just hosts, please, hosts, moderators, let them, I'll be doing questions in just a moment, Epic, so if you just want to take a seat, we'll just do it. So please let the mods mod, let the mods do their job, and that's what they're there for. You don't have mods, you have a different story. But if you have mods, let the mods do the work. And mods, you are not the freaking host. Just because you might have presentation abilities and the ability to unmute yourself or say something, do not take over the presentation. Do not inject yourself into the presentation. Very important. Let the mods mod. And be visible and invisible. So right now, Diamond is my great and never, ever do a portal. Dana, I'm going to give you an example. Please click it and hit destroy. Dana, click it and hit destroy. Quickly, my mods are moving in on you. Thank you. We never, ever launch a portal in an event. That is way only to use in public spaces. If you do launch a portal, it is a unwritten, should be written rule. You'll be instantly kicked and permanently banned from an event. If you open up a portal in an event, use the other ways to travel. Want to be in here? Don't throw a portal. Just leave. Portals are only used to teleport groups of people places, but we never do a portal in an event. So thank you to Dana for being my exhibit of that and so kindly canceling that out. But boy, it was beautiful to watch all the mods move in. It was fabulous. See, that's what you do. I didn't need to stress out because I knew my mods were helping. love them. And that's how we work as a team. So they were ready to kick immediately, but they heard me say, please, we're not going to kick you. We took that, patient moment and treated Dana properly by saying, could you please change B? And she did, or he did, but don't know. And I love that. And so you got to be nice. You got to be part of the problem and work as a team. Please be patient and kind. Realize that mutes are not personal. Kicks are not personal punishment. They are protection. They're defense. They are making sure that you all have a good experience here. If I had an event, well, this happens every time. If somebody's being really, really disruptive, and I call attention to them, and I ask them to modify their behavior, and they don't, and then I remove them from the event, you instantly have the audience on your side, because people hate people, don't you? Come on, give it up. You know you do. And when somebody's being disruptive, instead of paying a speaker, come on, Lovis, you're being one of the disruptives. Yep, there you go. Feet on floor, feet on ground. There you go. Is that when somebody's being disruptive, what is happening is that you are immediately calling attention. Everybody in the world is thinking, why won't somebody get rid of them? Why won't somebody get rid of them? And it's just really, really painful. So, make sure that you respond as soon as you can, but also suggest to people that they modify, their behavior if possible. Now, or let the moderators do their job. Nothing's worse than sitting there going, why was he moving? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? And I hate that. But anyway, it's made me absolutely crazy. I still had nightmares about it. We had an amazing troll. This all amazing, nasty, horrible troll in an event. And we had 6 moderators trying to capture this little creep, but he knew, and he was really, really knew what he was doing. Epic, if you could please turn around and sit down, that would be awesome. Thank you. And so we had a hard time catching him. I finally had him in my sights, had his name tag, and the moment that I hit kick, somebody walked right between us, and I kicked the wrong person. I even jumped into the after and tried to find the person. Didn't even know who they were. And I told all the admins in the campfire, anybody comes in and says they're complaining that they got kicked down, they didn't mean to, just tell them, please let them back in the event. I didn't mean to. Oh, I feel so bad. But that's the point. We want to make sure that we're kind. We want to make sure, but mistakes happen, okay? My wonderful friend Donna says that one day she's in an event, she was paying total attention, and they were talking about another event. She was trying to find that other event in the calendar and everything, and she accidentally instead of hitting info, she hit portal, and she was so freaked out that she just felt just horrible that she interrupted an event with a portal and couldn't figure out how to turn it off. And she just hit her home button and exited immediately because she just hated the fact that she disrupted this event that she didn't want to do, interrupt. Mistakes happen. We're human beings. I think that's our main motto, is that we screw up. It's just our life. The most important role and task and responsibility of a moderator is to support the event host invisibly and silently. If you do not know that there's moderators out in the audience, if I don't even know that my moderators are working, I call my event a success. It means the absolute world when the moderators are doing the work and I don't even know it. And I tell you, as someone who moderates as well, I have come out of events sweating. I'm sitting still at my desk, and it's been so hard to catch all the trolly people and all the disruptive people, literally sweating. It's hard work to pay that much attention for an hour and be sweeping the crowd and da-da-da-da-da. It's hard work. But if you're working invisibly, you're beautiful and you're doing the right work. So sometimes there are people like Diamond isn't, she's looking at you, not at me. but I have people in the crowd that are also working it from the right position. Want to help? Please check out the Discord channel for AltspaceVR.com. There is a volunteers one, and say I'm available, or monitor it to see if there's anyone who is asking for moderation help or co-hosting help and stuff. And help. We work as a team. We work as a community. You'll often find there's a chance to ask questions as well there. But the AltspaceVR community standards, I love this. I love this. We were all, education goes with people who are perceived as behaving badly. As I did with Dana, I asked her nicely. As I've done with a couple other, I asked nicely in behavior, the behavior changed. So, Hosa, I've asked you several times to just have a seat, so we just be nice, because some people don't know that they're being disruptive. And Epic, I'm asking you because when you're standing up, you're blocking other people's view. So if you look, there's nobody sitting behind you because you've been blocking people's view. Okay? So just move backwards and you'll sink right into the seat like Norman is. Yeah. So again, we be kind to people because that's how we should be in the world. So it's a good way to be. But watch perception. Now, I'm going to turn the camera on you guys. This is what y'all kind of... This is what it looks like from the perspective of an event host. Moving all over the place. You're jumping all over the place. You get over here. No, over here. Should I kick you? If you're moving like that, should I kick you? No. They're always moving around. So if this annoys you as an event host, is, you know what? If you're a mover, if you're a shaker, if you're a fiddler, there's this balcony up in the back. Go stand up there. You can stand on the railing for all you want. Why not? Like Fox is. Just go stand up there. If you want to move around, you can be nice and comfortable up there. We love you up there. If you want to not have distractions all around you and not have people moving, then move on closer and just ignore them. Because we need to have a place here for everyone. We need to make sure that this is a safe place for everyone, even those who need to fidget. Because, when I'm teaching in the real world, nothing makes me crazier than having those students sitting in the front row with their tapping their feet against the table. It's right up against where I'm teaching, or they're doing the pencil on the table. Oh my God, it makes me, okay? They don't know they're doing anything that bothers anybody. Same thing in here. Fidgeting and moving around, nobody knows that they're bothering the event host and other people's. So just, be aware and invite people to be closer, invite people to go into the back. But when people are being annoying, how do you decide? First of all, if you've been an event host for a while, or a moderator, especially a moderator, you start to know when people are going to be trouble. You just, and we haven't been able to clarify it, but we know. And I can tell you, if somebody will come in and we'll just no, it's not their name tag, and our group, moderation group will go, check out for, Fred 42. Would you keep an eye on him? Why? Feels like he's trouble, and so we just it's weird. 9 times out of 10 we're right. We want to be right, but they're also normal behavior. So you cannot kick people for these things. Kick people for, well, number one, it's up to you as an event host, but as a moderator, you need to set the tone. You need to say, these are the things that I will allow. But there is zero room anywhere. When you created your account, you agreed. Zero tolerance for the things that appear on the screen. Absolute zero tolerance for these things. And I want to talk about lewd behavior. Really quickly, this is not a fault of the moderators. I was doing an event, And we had somebody that was right up against the edge of the stage. And of course, we're looking up and we're presenting and we're doing, what we need to be doing and we're talking and stuff. And so, yeah, people that come up to the very edge of the stage, trust me, we want to kick your butts really fast because it's annoying and it's distracting. But this particular person had a quest or whatever, and they had two hands, and they were whacking off and then waving their hands, both hands up in the air, and then pointing down at their penis, and then jerking off right there in front. Now, the mods were looking at the audience, not the person up at the lip of the stage. So I kept looking down going, something's not right here. But I'm busy with other things, and it went on way too long before I finally went, oh, that's what they're doing, and then I kicked them. But I had my presentation and my stuff to do that. Lewd behavior is not acceptable. And yet I don't know why people something that's fun. It just doesn't work, okay? So do know, we've seen it all. Trust me, we've seen it all. And it just doesn't work. So that is unacceptable behavior and instant cause for removal. I don't know why people do it. They think it's fun. I don't think it's funny. Do you all think it's funny? First time, it ain't funny, okay? So when you arrive, as a moderator, when you arrive at an event, check in with the event, friend them, because you need to communicate throughout the event. You need to say, so-and-so is coming over near you. I think they're suspicious. You need to be able to talk back and forth. Doing a huge event, I recommend Discord and using Discord voice to stay in touch during an event. It makes a huge difference. Event hosts or as a team, assign yourself to locations and then to tasks. Keep people off the stage. And if you're told to monitor the audience, people on the stage alone if somebody is assigned to protect the stage, especially during open mic events and things like that. And then control that crowd stays within the guidelines. And you guys are being amazing. So yeah, I want to cover these and get to your questions. Spaces, this is one of them. Go every single event space and then, up in this particular space, the rafters, and then they jump down right in front of you or jump on the stage. Because we know that is something that people want to do. And Fox up there was part of our team helping to make sure that worked. He knows trolls, and he went through and checked this out. I love it. But do check for all the spaces and figure out where the weak points are and where have problems. When you evaluate a space for where to position yourself, think triangles. So this was one of our very common event spaces we use for years. And working, because that's your view. You have this triangular view through your headset. That's even in me. You have this triangular perspective from yourself going out. So work triangles and then position yourself to overlap others in triangles. So for example, Fox is up, I know you're not a mod right now, but Fox is up in the corner, can mod at the angle up in the back. Then Kara 666 is in the back. She's one of the mods. Diamond has a triangle overlapping that from the corner. So I could demonstrate with you. So think triangles when you're thinking. Work as a team to quick, that you and people are, and then match their skill set with their ability and work together. Somebody disruptive, do not have everybody jump on them. As what happened with the portal, the mods moved in to take action, but only one person needs to be the action taker. So the me as a host wasn't my job. So I didn't move to help point it out to you. Work together, but what sometimes can happen is you have overzealous mods. And when you have 4 mods who are chasing, one person and 40 people sitting in the audience with another potential disruption, something else could happen. So just sometimes trolls were a horrible thing. So one person will distract while somebody else does something else. And so just be aware, human beings, human behavior. This may be virtual, but as human beings, we bring our shit wherever we are, and we spread it around wherever we are. I hate it. It ain't the truth. You know, we're human beings, so we're going to behave like human beings. Okay? So don't rush the troll. It's just how it works. All right. I'm going to get to some fun stuff here. So again, I told you to get constantly doing it. So we're going to turn it in a circle. So if you're in 2D, all you have to do is, or in 3D, 2D means on a desktop, pull your trigger so you're not teleporting, and then see name tags pop up. Yeah, is that working? Name tags are critical to moderation. Love it, okay? So you need to be aware and not be doing your homework and not be watching a video. Now, those names, this is what your name tag, now, to text people individually. You have the ability to mute individuals. So if you are all unmuted right now, I could go through and have Bill, you have background noise, I'm going to tap you and make sure that you are muted so that you're not disrupting the event with your background noise. So, or whatever it happens to be. Very important. So make sure that, you know, if you're in a situation where you have people muted, you can mute them for everyone. Where normally you just mute them for yourself, you have the ability to mute for all. And then you have the ability to kick, or what we call it, it's ability to remove people. And it used to take them to the campfire. It now takes them back to their home space. Host, there are 3 levels, and we need to make it clear to your moderator, not emphasize this enough. You have to communicate. Gentle is 3 to 4 warnings. And that usually happens in events like this, or at AltspaceVR 101, where people are brand new. They don't know what the hell they're doing. So we have to give them the room to make mistakes so that we can self-correct and we can say, hey, you know, this is not the way to do this. This is not how we work. Down to strict moderation level is like the around. If you're fidgeting, you're gone. No explanation. The event, it's a meditation event, people. You don't go there to sing and dance. The thing. If you're a fidgeter, take your hands off the damn controllers. Fidget in the air until the hand tracking comes. Then that's a different issue. But you're for meditation. It's about stillness. So understand, and there's 0 tolerance. You do 1 fidget, you're gone. Cruel. It's for the people who are there for a reason. We have to support the audience that are there because they want to be. Also, the weight loss support group. If you ever want to be helpful, please volunteer for the sensitive groups that we have in the meetups that are happening here in Altspace. The weight loss group, the mental health groups. Be sincere about your ability to help, but support them, because nothing is worse than being in the weight loss support group where people are sharing painful experiences, their struggles, their judgments from of how other people are judging them. And then somebody comes in and goes, yeah, I've been struggling with my weight and I have a new weight loss program. So I order 10 pizzas a day and 14 hamburgers. And then I just, it's like, oh, you asshole, and boom, you're gone. There's no reason for any of that kind of behavior ever. And we need to support the people who need to be in groups. Please volunteer to help mod those events one way or the other. It's absolutely support them and stop the intolerance. Truly stop the intolerance, because it's not acceptable. It's mean enough in the real world. I don't want this to be a mean place. Who's with me? You're with me? All right, as I'm losing my voice, be with me with this. All right. Yeah, I love that. All right, when you send your message, make sure you say please and thank you, which requires a lot of typing, pain in the tuchus. So doing it in 2D makes it easier, without a doubt, okay? So you get that typing. And you don't have to worry about the battery or the overheating and all that stuff. You can also moderate with basic communication stuff. So I want everybody to just work on your slow, look at each other and look at your slow head shake. Slow head shake. Mm-mm-mm. Now put up your finger and do the stop hand. Everybody do the stop hand. Hand open, don't pull the trigger, just open hand. That means stop. Now give me the, pull the trigger, give me the one finger. Not a sound I should make. Do no, 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 no. People know what that means. Work on those, have them ready so that you can just silently walk up to somebody. And you know what? It's really powerful. You don't need to text. Sometimes it's all it takes, unless their intention is to be disruptive. They don't care what you do. You can stand on your head and flap in the air. They still will be a pain in the ass. But for those that don't know, easy behavior modification. Okay, so here's where I get to have fun. All right, everybody, get those triggers ready. Click on me, and you will see my name tag pop up. Okay? Everybody see my name tag? Now, I want you to grab my name tag. Grab my name tag. Come on. All you do is click on it and grab it. Click on it. Got it? Can you grab it? Okay, let go. Now give me some hearts. Who was able to grab my name tag? Yeah? Give me frown face if it was hard. You managed to get it. Okay? So you grabbed it, so my name tag was one place, but my avatar was, so grab my name tag. You can hold it in place. So I can still move away from my name tag. But you have it. That gives you that extra second to then click whatever you want to click. So name tag grabbing is amazing. So use that. There that the menus, when you have your smileys up and other menus up tags, depending on where.
She'll be right back. Is it me? Okay. It's me.
I love that. Did everybody go out, or was it just me again? Was it just me? All right, just me. Okay, just me. Yeah. Welcome to my crazy internet. So thank you. But that's why I always have backups. Yeah. All right. So now, over and over again, please learn how to do this in 2D, moderating in 2D. You don't have to worry about the battery, you don't have to worry about the overheating. Plus, it's easier to type. And I have a whole copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. And it makes it work. The admins, please friend the admins. It's really important. Whoever's on staff, and you either cannot catch somebody, or somebody's really being, tell them, go up and say, I need to friend you because I'm hosting and I may need help. And they love it. So that's their job. So if you are alone hosting an event and you have somebody in who's trolling terribly or who's being really, really vicious, you can open up that friends list, and there is the admin. It has a gold tag right on the friends list, and you can message them right away saying, I need help, or send them a visit. Do not abuse this. Trust me, no abusing this. But if you're in trouble, send them a come visit. If you're hosting and you're really having a problem, send them a come visit. They know to come visit. They're in the middle of something, but they know to come and help out. But know it's available. And I can't tell you how many times I try to deal with things myself, but sometimes you just can't. And we've had admins come in and try to deal with it, and they can't deal with it either, though they have stronger tools now. Because we said, okay, if you can't do it, there's a problem. They now have stronger tools, and so do we. Please, if you're a moderator, or even if you're event host, do not expect thanks or public recognition or any form of appreciation. My mods, I love them, I worship them, they float over the ground, and I praise them constantly because I cannot do this without them. But there's sometimes where I'm busy with the audience and I'm busy with this and answering questions, and I forget to say that thank you. All know it, but do take time to say it. But honestly, even if you host, it's okay. Trust me. They are so grateful and thank you. So do it for the love of, not just because you want the gratitude. And moderation is not an excuse to attend an event. I cannot tell you how many events I moderated and I have no freaking idea what anyone talked about because I'm so busy moderating what anything is about. So just be aware, not an excuse. It's a good enough reason, but it's not realize you will miss part of the event if you're doing mod. All right. Now, hopefully that was helpful. Was that helpful? And let's take some questions. I've turned off and hopefully turned back on the raise hand button. And I've dismissed all the questions. So who asked some questions? Well, let's put this into practice. I love it. Make sure they're intelligent and brilliant. Jay. How about
Yeah. Hi, my name is Jay.
Hey, Jay.
And so my question to you is, I do mental coaching for athletes, and I'm looking into this as a possible to use in my education. I guess my question to you is, this is the first step, literally right now, I've taken into trying to capitalize or at least educate myself on the process. What other tools would you recommend as far as almost like maybe let's say a use case, for example, hey, listen, here's the flow, what the growth would be. Maybe if you could just give me some additional resources once this meeting is over. So what kind of growth have you seen in AltspaceVR in the short term?
Okay, lots of questions there. All right, first of all, it's already been done here. What you're doing has already been done. So we have mental coaching, not coaching, but personal coaching. In fact, Educators in VR has a V coaching and personal development project team that are going to be our hosts are related to that, and to help train people who are. You can definitely come on Educators in VR and see the resources there on our Discord channel. And we're working on building those up on our website as well. So we have people that do business meetings that have on AltSpace, and I say we, Royal we, that have coaching. They're doing support group sessions, so individual sessions, support, thing you can imagine. They're having sales meetings and everything. So this, you create a private meeting, private event. And then you have various ways, which I talk about in some of the other, to add them. So the event that I have coming up on Friday, I'm going to be doing how to create a virtual conference. It also will give you some of the techniques on how to add people to private events as well. And so you have them come in the private event and you talk to them no differently. And I was trying to explain this to somebody last night. Why don't I just use video or voice conferencing? So there's something different about being in a room with people. And there's what tends to happen in general, and the research backs it up, is that people drop many of their inhibitions. They drop many of their fears and their paranoias, and they're actually more open and more honest because there's a sense of embodiment and presence. I don't have time to go into all. They're very, very powerful. And because you kind of feel immersed. You feel like you're there, even in 2D. So it works really, really well. And what was then the last thing you asked was?
Just curious to see if you could comment on, because time is valuable, obviously, and this is something I'm thinking about, but I just wanted to see something that is in a growth phase.
Growth?
I mean, I know,
Yes, growth. Through the frickin' moon. and beyond to Jupiter. So again, COVID-19 things, but VR is been on an escalation like you would not believe. And yes, it is growing. Yes, it's still pioneer days. Yes, it's going to eventually evolve into a holodeck. Because we can't have this crap on our face, the crap on our face business, literally this head stuff pain in the ass. We are moving blend the AR and VR together, so holograms are in our future. And things like the COVID-19 are actually pushing developers to go, okay, we need to push this even further because people need to be able to say no. Okay? But gear less, 1 day or less. This is your first day in AltSpace. Okay? Now, give me hearts if you've been in AltSpace for at least a week. 1 week in AltSpace. Okay? Now that you've been on AltSpace for a month, a year, how many been in AltSpace for at least a year? 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Please God, I feel so old. Okay, so as there are many people coming on here that are new and have been here last time, and they're staying and they're persisting. It isn't just a matter of being here, hey Tony, not just a matter of being here, and that's the key on board. All right, and welcome. Really powerful tool. I chose this one after a lot of research, so it's important to me. Bailey, you have a question? Bailey, got a question? Okay, Bailey. All right, so make sure you do not use this as don't use it as a toy. Andrew, you're on.
How old do you have to be a moderator?
If you can get into AltSpace, you are able to be a moderator. Okay, great question. Yeah, it's, when we're looking at moderators, we're evaluating, and I don't mean this as to be a name, but adultness. So we want to make sure that, as a moderator, that you are behaving appropriately to support us. I don't want somebody who's going to be running off at the mouth and being, consuming the event. So as long as you behave appropriately, that's good enough for us. Fareed.
Hey.
Hello, my friend.
Yeah, so setting, I want to allow different students to present, for example, their project. How easy is it to allow them to go on screen and start presenting? So it's just assign the presenter role and that's it? Or what do you suggest?
The presenter role, and then if they have slides, then you make, that's a little more complicated, and I'm not going to cover that here, but, they just, it's pretty easy. And, but you just give them presenter role. Train them, make sure that they have, that's the one thing that is, AltSpace is the best training. When you come in, you go through that, how do you navigate and jumping around in the rooftop. And then you go through the info zone that teaches you a little more, and hopefully you're greeted by somebody who welcomes you and answers your questions. And they'll do that in the campfire as well. We're for the most part, we're a fairly welcoming community, and we want to help you learn. We want to encourage you. We want to support you. So it's important when you have new people coming in that they're not present how you stand, this is how you do. We had one person who's absolutely brilliant, was very nervous presenting for the International Summit, who said, I'm in 2D and I feel like I'm just this stick figure. And I'm just like, I don't even know how to move. And so he said, okay, you move around, you use your head, you spin around, you do all these things, and we taught him what I call ice skating. So you use your head to steer yourself, and it makes you look a little more animated. So there's things you can do to appear more animated, and it's a brilliant way of doing it. Immediately, y'all can't see. I'll invite you up on the stage later. Is there a big monitor over your heads that you can't see that allows me to see there's a screen behind me to make sure that I turn around and see my little cute butt, virtual butt. So he was all excited, got in place, looked up, and then did his whole presentation like this without. So we do what we can, but you need to tell them to move around and make sure they're animated and not just standing still. Other than that, let them go. They figured it out of their own accord really easily. So great questions. And we have all kinds of classes in here. We have teachers coming in all the time doing tons of classes. It's really, really fun. And the events team is amazing here. So make sure you work with them. So Charlie, where's Charlie?
Yes.
Hi.
I was wondering, you're currently presenting in 2D.
Uh-huh.
Are some hosts presenting in 3D, and how does that make a difference, if any?
The issue is that I have slides up, I have Discord up, people are talking to me in the Discord, I've got notes, I've got tons of things up, so it's like flying a freaking airplane. In 2D, because I'm an expert at this, it makes it easier for me to control all those things, but no, if you're whistles, doing it in 3D, doing it in immersive is lovely and it's easy. You can use your personal browser to bring up notes. You can do all kinds of fun things. But know your topic and whatever you do, and attend my speaker. And make sure, if not, I'm going to get Diamond or Donna and probably teaming up, or Karen, I'm going to pull on my team if my voice goes out. But make sure that you know your material. I know my material so well, I don't even need slides. I can do this without. And that's really important. And never, ever read your content. So you don't need to have slides. In fact, I think most events should not have slides. Show you what things look like. So that's why because you don't have this to the interface. I need to show you that. And so, other than that, I would do this without slides. And talk to your people. Yay, okay, great. All right, Disney guy. Hello.
Oh, hi. My question is, are you guys planning to do another international summit?
Well, next year.
Oh.
Maybe. Oh my God. Yeah, well, that's an annual event. Are you kidding? Yeah. It was a death event. That about killed us. Yeah, so for those that don't know, we had 170 speakers from all over the world in 150 different events across 5 different platforms over 6 days, 24 hours. It took almost 75 volunteers to make this sucker happen. I mean, I was sleeping in my office, infection and stuff, because it was amazing. Never been done before, and we proved this is part of the training to prepare people for it, as well as we're doing smaller events. So that's most important. We have the students in VR conferences coming up May 7th and 8th. It'll be half in AltspaceVR and half in Engage. And we need people to help to prepare them. It's student-produced, student-led, student presenters. It is amazing. And so if you have a class of students who want to get involved, get on our Discord and join the Students in VR chat, and let's talk about how you can be involved and how you get your students involved. We have weekend and one-day conferences that are set up. So if you want to be involved, join our Discord. That's our most active social media channel. Get involved. We need your help. We need everything from people who know administration tasks and scrambling with doing spreadsheets and things like that. We also need people who are trainers who understand how this works. We need event hosts. We need moderators. We need filmers and recording things. It's just amazing. So please We'd love to have you on board helping. But don't stop here. Become a community helper in AltspaceVR. Just do a search for altvr.com community helper program and become a community helper. It's somebody who is the helpful people. We are not employees. We are volunteers. We have the green border around our name badges. We are people who host events, moderate events, and help people. And that's critical. So, find out what it takes to be in that program. You have to be in, I think, like at least 3 months as a member and do events and moderate. And, but also just be helpful in general and host events. We want you to show off your talents. We want you to share and leave your legacy of knowledge with people. So thank you. That's awesome. All right, Charlie, you're back again. And anyone else, please hit the raise hand button, and I'll respond to questions for just a couple more minutes.
Yes, sorry, I had another question. I'm a
Yes,
presenter on
absolutely.
stage
Not a
quite
problem.
often, and a big part of the interaction with the audience is when you ask a question and lots of people try to answer it, kind of, and so you distribute the answer.
Absolutely.
How would that happen when you're in VR? Could you open multiple mics and still get a meaningful interaction, or you would have to always pick up individuals?
Both, all of the above. So right now in this particular event, public and it has people from all over the place, and I just know that Tony wants to say something rude, crude, and socially unacceptable. Sorry, he's one of my best. So I get to pick on him, and this is not conducive to opening up the mics, though I have, and allowing people to communicate. And then, but you can in the right situation, you can do that easily. Not mute anybody. Now, so you can individually mute people for the audience, but you can just let it wide open and have freedom of exchange. So coming up in a few hours, we have the, I'm trying to think, it's right after the AltspaceVR 101, we have Educators in VR is holding an open discussion. And I'm going to try to keep everyone unmuted so we can freely have discussion. And if the audience cooperates, it's great. Otherwise, we mute people down and we make sure that it's selective. But yeah, we want to have that exchange. So you can do any of the above. And y'all are so awesome. So, I'm like, okay, so there you go. You all have the ability to unmute yourself and to talk. But if you need to be heard by everyone in this event space, it does help to hit that raise hand button so I can amplify your voice instead of trying to chase you down and amplify it. Okay, so we can do a quick demo. So any more questions, just make sure you hit that raise hand button. You can speak, but I want to just keep this on topic for just a few more minutes. So anyone else have any questions about hosting or moderating? Just hit that raise hand button. And I want that we are very blessed right now. AltSpace is completely free. It is free to come in and socialize. It is free to attend classes and workshops and trainings and all these events. It is free to create your own event, even if it's for commercial purposes. It is free. This may not always be that way, though it is their pledge to keep the community social aspects free. But right now, you can host events, you can do all these things with no charge. And so take advantage of this moment in time before the bean counters show up and go, we need to start paying for all this shit. Just part of the process. But, how can we make money with this? That's always the question. For right now, it's completely free. So then bring your stuff in. And there are other platforms, like right now, Rumii is completely free for anyone who wants to come into the Rumii platform and host meetings, totally free. Normally, there's a paywall. Engage is opening up to have more free events that are accessible on there. So you can do that. You're not limited here. The tools are a little bit different, but AltSpace is just one of many. And this is the one I can speak to right now because we're here. And I know it so very, very well. But most of all, please, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for your passion, your enthusiasm. Please go out and use VR as much as you can, and also support each other by sharing your own passions, your own talents. All right? Thank you, everybody. Yay, my voice held up. Yay. All right, thank you. As a reminder, educators in VR, AltspaceVR 101 is coming up in 45 minutes. Diamond is going to be presenting in Altspace.
Anna, I've met so many wonderful people. I mean, it's just, my friendships have just gone up exponentially. Plus, I learn every time I meet somebody, I learn something new. I've met people from countries I have never had the honor to visit, and it has just been wonderful. And I've had the greatest teachers, Lorelle, in world building. I've built my own world. So there's just all kinds of things you can learn.
Very cool. Is Karen still here? The other Karen? Karen 666. You should be able to put yourself up. You got megaphone? If not, I'll give it to you here. All right, let me get you. Oh, the other Karen's on here too. Okay, so, but I'm looking for Karen 666 there. Okay. All right, you're on megaphone. What do you get out of doing all this thing, dear friend?
I just love helping out. I just think it's great that we've got so many events on that engage people, and I just like to help be a part of it. Just make sure that everyone can get the best experience they can.
And you do an amazing job. So she, in addition to other things, being an amazing world builder, she hosts helps me host the World Tour Showcase, where we take people builders and connect them so they learn about world building. There's one today coming up in an hour, right?
Yeah.
A little over an hour and 15 minutes. Today is touring, along with Daisy Shaw, we're touring worlds with new world builders, people who are brand new to world building. They're sharing their worlds and their insights from the perspective of being brand new. So I love that. So thank you for doing that. And then the other Karen, you should be on.
Right here.
Said you were here.
Lorelle, I
Okay.
did the unthinkable. I accidentally teleported trying to hit an emoji, so I ended up over here. So my apologies.
Not a problem.
And
You're over there.
To give a shout out to Matt the scientist who's over here.
Hey, Matt.
Next. He sent me a message and he said thank you, and I said, Matt, I think that was intended for somebody else, and he said no. He said Daisy Shaw says nobody says thank you to the mods, and I just wanted to thank you. So I wanted to give a shout out.
Awesome. Thank you. That is brilliant. I love it. And Matt, is it true that you're about to step into event hosting? Do you want to, let me get you on air and, oops, there. And let me find you in here.
I have performance problems.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So you're going to be hosting your own event coming up, I heard.
Yeah. Every Sunday.
Fantastic. So German classes every Sunday, you're going to help teach people how to speak German.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
1 p.m. West Coast and 4 p.m. East Coast.
I love it. See, this is the magic. And thank you for saying thank you to her. That's wonderful. That's the kind of community we have around here that I just, you wanted to add?
Yeah, just a quick question with regards to, I figured since you've been in this for 5 years, I should capitalize on this one curiosity I have. I haven't talked to him yet, but a friend of mine is using the not so much Altspace, so I know this is not specifically Altspace, but hopefully that's still relevant though. He is using virtual reality to help people with PTSD and some, I guess some of the tools available, not so much in the community here, but as far as like the platform as a general statement. They're a company or a group or a resource that I can use to look into if I wanted to create things? Like, for example, working on the mindset in your mental game as an athlete, there's certain things that I could have you do that would help you in a virtual space. So is there like a group that creates spaces or creates things in VR aware of that you would recommend?
No, because there's too many. And right now it's an evolving market, and so an emerging market. So there's many, and that are specifically athlete based. I don't know. I report on so many of these. I'm in our Discord channel. I know that some have passed through in front of my face, but I have not used them, so I cannot recommend them. But it's I know there are some that are out there, and I know that people are developing them. So, check out our resources on our Discord channel and see what you can find under research articles and under the V coaching, because things went into originally, and then it organically expanded into all these other branches. And I started moving things around and went, oh, bugger it, just leave them where they are. Because you can't move messages around very well yet in Discord. We're begging for it. But research articles, and then corporate use, and also there may be some stuff under medical, but most of that is likely to be under RV coaching, which is still, it's a new group, so you have a chance to be, of the Dana Maria Cohen Dana Maria, we would just call her Captain VR. She's doing incredible work on it, and so is Dr. Joshua Cohen, using video and virtual reality for anxiety, for therapy, for all the different therapies, for anxiety, for paranoia, for leadership and things. And I do know that Dana Maria developed an hours to get over their fear of skiing.
Oh wow! So if I go into these conversations,
Yep. And for the information you give, you get back. So as you all know.
Like what does the community want? I guess would be my question too.
Well, that's really broad. Right now, the community wants training on just how to do the basics, because they want to do more and they need the fundamentals.
That alone is a great answer.
So, yeah, it is, because people really want to do when you stick with the fundamentals, you train people to move up with you. So once you get the fundamentals, then you can find out what they want. And it's too hard to say. For example, in virtual language learning, we have a great group called Vita Language Learning. People want to learn English. We want to have them learn other languages, but the demand for English is still very, very high. And so having people learning that is and having those skills and figuring out how that works is really, really huge right now. Also, we have all the therapies: paranoia, anxieties, autism. We were getting ready to do a huge event for Autism Week. There seems to be some question, because now there's paranoia that the COVID-19 is going to be changing how that works. And I'm thinking, it's virtual. Who cares where you are? Let's make it happen anyway. But I have to talk to the team. And so we have a lot of things that are going on. And but probably I would say that the one that is emerging as being, I know it's so hard. Medical is huge, but specifically geriatrics, dementia, Alzheimer's. There's some tremendous work that's being done in that area to not only train people to be a caregiver, but to also using, any kind of vocational training and simulation training is definitely being used. Paramedics, emergency care, medical rescue, line repairs for power lines and phone lines and all those things are definitely being used and are huge. But they're also finding tremendous memory trigger response and activation for immersive therapy for dementia. And people are actually able to connect, and amazing research is going into that. So I can't say overall because it's too big and broad. VR is something that touches every single industry. Walmart is using it to train people to stock shelves. Come on! I mean, how hard is that? Talk about low hanging fruit kind of thing. So when you're looking at that, so what Educators in VR is doing is helping train people at a basic fundamental level. We're being brought on by companies slowly to consult and advise people want to develop the apps and they don't want to train the people to use them. So we're starting to get some bids, and people are saying, can you come in and help train our people to use these things? So that's interesting. Not what we want to do, but we're getting those requests. And so, we're doing what we can to service those. But it's awesome. Honestly, every single industry, just like people said the tablet, the cell phone was not a business tool operated into it. Well, guess what? It's ubiquitous. And so people are doing medical, doctors and nurses are taking medical things right through their tablet, instantaneously connecting through. So the same thing is happening with VR. It's ubiquitous across all the different platforms. Everything you can imagine. I mean, and teachers are coming out of the woodwork to learn how to teach because they can't be in physical contact with their students right now. And business meetings. I mean, they canceled South by Southwest, and South by Southwest just thought they could go virtual.
Oh wow, I didn't know they
Norman,
canceled it.
leave them alone. Yeah, and so now they're trying. They thought about making virtual, but South by is just too complex an event. So specialty areas of South by, if you ever been to it, it's freaking insanity. So individual groups that now are modularizing a part of South by Southwest are trying to go virtual, but a lot of organizations are also going virtual. They're taking their events. Yesterday was the last day to sign up. HTC Vive, Educators in VR, worked with them to have them take their big industry conference is going virtual. It's huge. So signups are now registered. I hope they'd extend the registration because the registrations are now closed. But that's all going live as well. So who knows? I wish I had clean answers for this.
Awesome answers. I appreciate it.
It's just amazing to see. All right, last question, Jordan. Let me do Jordan, and then I have to jump out to another event.
Okay, no problem. Just further to that guy's question before about virtual reality through PTSD and anxieties and therapies. I've done a little bit of research into this myself because I'm trying to get into the VR biotech, sensory information in regards to, real-time into virtual reality headset to encourage, exercise, make sure that you're doing exercise responsibly and safely, and practicing, hygiene, showing people how to take care of the headset and, obviously, given the current situation, we have to be very conscious of games and stuff like that, and VR is quite a personal thing, I think. So if you already own a headset, how to care for that, if you're showing other people. And also, I'd like to put you onto a company that they're called the Science with a silent P, and they're based in Barcelona. And maybe you want to look into them because I think they're doing a lot of stuff to do with PTSD, and they've been doing this for quite a while now, and I think they've got it down to a T. Some of their social, anxieties, therapies that they do. They started off with just using Blender and, simple animations, but I think that's something that now they've packaged the software up, and like you're saying before about people who don't know how to use VR headsets. They are training people, just giving them the software, and they can use standard 3 degrees of freedom. So they can use just simple headsets. It doesn't have to be an expensive, spatially tracked headset. and it's just simple, static, 360 video that is multiple questions and stuff, and the animations are all 3D, and they interact with eye contact and stuff like that. So I think that's something maybe you want to check out, and I could happily, if you just add me up, I can speak to you personally and let you know what I know. Thank you very much.
That'd be great,
Yeah.
thanks. I just sent you a request, so thank you very much.
Thanks
I'm gonna
very
look
much,
into that.
Paul. Okay.
Yeah, and so please, everyone, please check out, not to harp on it, but our Educators in VR Discord channel has over 1,000 members, and they are incredibly active. Right now, we're having a huge discussion about how teachers are using VR, to share that information, how we're using VR to teach and to learn and to understand what else is going on, and also talk to each other, because that's the best thing. So I need to jump out to the next event. I want to thank you all again for being here and for being a part of this. And go out and start hosting events and doing stuff. We just absolutely love it. All right, thanks everybody.
Thanks very much.
All right, thanks. Okay, there you go.